की जो प्रोसेस है उसमें मध्य प्रदेश के जितने भी शहर हैं वो निश्चित तौर पे दे आर माई फ्रंट रनर्स। और सर अभी मैं 19 तारीख की वर्कशॉप में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में से पहले ये नई दिल्ली
all the representatives of industry from various parts of the country, ladies and gentlemen. This is, in fact, when I was talking to Manoj, he was saying that one of the apprehensions amongst the mind of industry is that how many cities and which cities will come in the phase 1 of the Smart Cities Challenge, which is being held by Government of India. So I can assure you that 7 cities had been chosen initially by Madhya Pradesh in Challenge 1, and we are hoping that at least 4 or 5. So, is there any question any of you have? I would be very happy to answer.
Vivek Agrawal, who is the Secretary of Chief Minister and Commissioner also, Local Self-Government, respect मौजूद हैं और मैं उनका नगर निगम अध्यक्ष होने के नाते बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ, वंदन करता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ। जैसा विवेक अग्रवाल जी ने बताया है, निश्चित रूप से हमारा जो शहर है, मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि इसी परिषद हॉल के अंदर सबसे पहले बैठे इस पूरे भारत वर्ष के अंदर हुई थी और हमने यहाँ से एक रिजोल्यूशन पास किया था जिसमें टॉप 100 के अंदर भोपाल का नाम स्मार्ट सिटी में शुमार हो। और मुझे बहुत प्रसन्नता है कि भोपाल
this will be a milestone for us in our quest to make Bhopal a smart city. As most of you might be knowing, we in Bhopal, we lead in the citizen consultation national picture when it comes to smart city. That's the reason why Government of India also chose Bhopal to be part of its delegation to Barcelona recently. I want to ask you all, why Bhopal? What is so important about Bhopal? And what is it that creates a kind of confidence in Bhopal? I would just bring to your notice the moment you have landed in airport. I hope most of you have taken flight.
हम लोगों ने मध्य प्रदेश में ऑलरेडी एक बड़ा इनिशिएटिव लिया हुआ है जिसको ई म्यूनिसिपैलिटी के नाम से जानते हैं, जिसमें पूरी 378 नगर पालिका और नगर निगमों में हम ऑनलाइन सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं। तो वो सोल्यूशन ऑलरेडी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में है। आज जो हमने डिस्कशन किया, हमने कहा कि जो बड़ी कंपनी है जैसे इंटेल के लोग आए हुए हैं और एक्ल के लोग आए हुए हैं, वो मध्य प्रदेश में जो हमारे स्मार्ट सिटीज़ अब सेलेक्ट होंगी चैलेंज 1 में, उसमें नेक्स्ट फेज़ के जो काम होने हैं, जैसे जो सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट है, जो कचरा प्रबंधन है, उसमें आईटी के उपयोग से हम कैसे और अच्छा प्रबंधन कर सकते हैं, या वाटर सप्लाई के सिस्टम है उनको और बेहतर कैसे बना सकते हैं, या जो नागरिकों की सुविधाएं हैं उनको हम कैसे मोबाइल ऐप के माध्यम से नागरिकों तक पहुंचा सकते हैं, उन सभी सॉल्यूशंस के बारे में भी वो विचार करें, हमें भी बताएं अगर उनके पास उस तरह के सॉल्यूशन हैं। और बहुत जल्दी ही जो हमें उम्मीद है कि भोपाल हमारे जो पहले 20 स्मार्ट सिटीज़ हैं देश की उसमें सेलेक्ट होगा। ना केवल भोपाल होगा, मध्य प्रदेश के अन्य शहर भी इसमें होंगे। हम देश में अग्रणी हैं स्मार्ट सिटीज़ की प्रिपरेशन और प्लानिंग में। तो जब वो हो जाएंगे तो वो यहाँ पे आएँ और हमारे साथ काम करें। और हम ये भी चाहेंगे कि जो बेसिक डेटाबेस बने जो शहर के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का और जो सिटीजन इंटरफेस का, उसका उपयोग जो स्टार्टअप कंपनीज़ हैं जो वो मोबाइल ऐप के माध्यम से सर्विसेज देती हैं, वो स्टार्टअप कंपनीज़ भी यहाँ पे हैं और वो भी नए ऐप बना के लोगों को सुविधाएं और दें और कमर्शियली भी उनका उपयोग करें।
सर, एक तो एनजीटी ने शादी मैरिज गार्डन को बंद करने का नगर 3 मैरिज गार्डन को परमिशन दी, कलेक्टर ने इसकी जानकारी मांगी है, क्या कहना है इसमें आपका?
स्थानीय प्रशासन का मुद्दा है, मुझे इसका आइडिया नहीं है। जिला कलेक्टर बाकी ज़िले का प्रशासन देखते हैं, उनको ये देखना है कि नियम कायदे का पालन।
नगर निगम की तरफ से परमिशन दी है
तो वो कलेक्टर को ही देखना है, अगर कलेक्टर को रिपोर्ट हमें करेंगे तो उस पर हम कार्रवाई करेंगे।
There are at least 10 times which TOD as a word comes into the guideline itself. So the government of India have been emphasizing a lot on transit policy development. So we have taken that strategy as one of the basic principles of our design in India. So if you notice that from most of the transit points, whether it is a transit point based on the priority or whether it is a transit point which is based on the LRT, there is no place within this particular area which will want to go into it from any of the transit stations. This is the master plan. And as far as the parking is concerned, parking is totally located outside the area. So we have identified around 6 parking areas. So this whole area will be totally walkable and cyclist friendly and free from the routine cars. So all the cars will have to be parked on the outer of the complete area, and then sections or all kind of activity will be done with the cars. There is underground regular access which can take your service vehicle to the properties. We are trying to incorporate all these 9 essential features of the which have been given into the guidelines, and basically we are trying to create an area which is very energy efficient, which is very functional in terms of livability, and it's very compact and high density area. As I was saying, the density distribution has been done along the nodes. So there are 3 nodes. There are BRT based nodes and there are LRT based nodes. So most of the density, increasing the density around the node, the idea was to reduce the traffic demand, and so much so that people can walk or can go to their work or to other stations or to the residences or even to the place of commercial interest without need for any kind of vehicular use. So this is something bird's eye view which it might look alike. As here are some of the features actually where the knowledge hub is, where we are trying to create a green area, where the health is. But as our initiative, it is around the existing, if there is a hospital, so health hub is around the hospital. If there is a college or educational institution, the education hub is around that institution. We have really taken a lot of concentration and effort to keep the whole area green. Although it looks like a very high density area, but the percentage of green and more than 62%, which you will not find anywhere into the planning which is like any private developers. But nearly 62% of the area of 342 acres which we have selected is green in this stage. If you also notice, there are 2 smaller water bodies and one is
लेकिन जबलपुर, इंदौर और भोपाल के चैलेंजेस अलग हैं। उनका जो प्राइवेटाइजेशन है वो आपका अलग टेक्नोलॉजी के हिसाब से these are some of the technologies which you typically find, usually going to smart cities. And I don't want to spend too much time. If you want some of the slides, I'll be happy to share them. Oracle, which is ease of doing business and census. This is how we at Oracle see smart city as a start. And on the top, we have technologies. City operations, these are some of the projects which have been delivered on Oracle technologies. City infrastructure, these are some of the projects. And I don't think I want to run through each of them because of possible time. We can do a separate discussion. I'll be available this time.
Contest as well as smart city proposal as of now is for any city is preparing answer to the questions which are taken into the guidelines. Okay, that is one. So, of course, answer to the question incorporate all in what you have been talking about and what you have been showing. This struck me in the world. I really don't know whether how true is that, but what probably is the size of the
we should have a SMAC strategy. So one of the components of SMAC is Internet of Things. So when we are saying we want to use technology like Internet of Things, let's say in this manner, we should see, and I'm saying before we do that, we should look at Internet of Things as a strategy. Why? Suppose we are saying that we want to use
the scale part of it. Otherwise क्या होगा कि आप solid waste management के लिए you will make some investments, then the investments will get repeated for something else. Whereas in reality,
so answer the component of the proposal. It is a very specific question you have to answer. Is that in 1 year, what is the improvement you'll see in the ICT sector, and in the long term, in 5 years, what you will see?
Focusing on are, as we call them, the low-hanging fruits, right? So, some very basic citizen-centric online services. This is something, it is not that it is because of the smart cities happening, it's been happening for several years now, but then it was in a very disfocused kind of a way. That is something which will receive significant impetus. You're going to be seeing a lot of mobile apps through which citizens can interact with the UAP. Citizens can interact for a variety of public services. This is not very difficult to the right intent that can be done. And that is something which I personally feel is very important for an initiative like the smart city to build internal capacity. So, that will also go a long way.
Security, where actually Mr. Agarwal nicely explained the building blocks. These are some of the building blocks you can see. So, what actually I can make a sense out of these all building blocks if you look at. So, this is those details on the daily basis, and even for within a quarter, even health minister can actually look into his dashboard that what is actually happening within this state on the health. And which all diseases are actually now cropping up from last 6 months, 8 months, or year time frame.
Is that we obviously build CPUs, right, for manufacture of CPUs. But we manufacture all sorts of products, from the data center all the way to the wearables and IoT. In the recent couple of quarters, we've actually acquired a few companies, a watch company, glasses company, a bunch of other technologies to enable wearables and data. So I'll just put this up real quick. You can read yourself. You can see here we're leading manufacturer of computer and networking equipment, not just PCs. What's that? Yeah. 245. Okay.
That's all right.
You're going to hear this again.
And today we are talking about what Intel is doing in the field of IoT and smart cities. I'm sure all of you have heard about Intel, right? I'm sure all of you know about I'm sure all of you have heard about Intel and what we do. But what you don't know about Intel is that we also coming up big. Also, we are leader in smart.
It's basically a cloud on-premise where you put your software. What's happening is some of these smart cities, let's say Singapore, it's a gateway for each service. So think of your house, right? There's your water meter, there's your power meter, there's your set-top box, there's your blah. All those hardware boxes, we're saying consolidate that into one box and then use virtual machines to whatever service you want to go to. So just go through, I was asked to do a little bit of Intel overview. Basically, like I said, we want to put CPUs everywhere, right? And then software and services on top of that from our partners and vendors. We do have an end-to-end solution in the CPU and in the software and the manageability. The big difference that I've been in India for 2 weeks doing this presentation like this with our SIs. So I've slightly modified it, but our system integrators have the same material and we're educating them on how we can go to market together.
Thank you. I think we'll wait for continuous to the deep of a technology company with solutions, maybe players like Cisco, Oracles, and those kind of players. Where they provide you technology solution, where they're thinking of plugging different kind of solution at different point of time in the course of developing this concept. Yeah. Now, suppose there is a system which is also take the whole city to GIS platform, and how this technology and the mapping will match and marry to each other at one point, or initiative started?
Your question is very valid. In that case, the Bhopal City as well. In that, we just need to see what type of assets you need to map, what type of data you need to take from other agencies. So there will be a central server which will be residing at your place, and the data which will be coming from the other departments will be lying with other, whether it's coming from schools or health department, which can be easily pulled from them and it can be put on this GIS plan. Hope I have answered your query. So, but I need to have the details of the government departments with which we want to link, and we can provide a solution for you.
Yeah, just because the city is bigger, you can map more and more things, and it's going to be more and more expensive to do that. Obviously, it'll cost more to bring in this data set, a bit more than that data, because this thing needs to be verified. Sometimes you need to go to the field and do verification and survey. So now, if we could look at an incremental approach, where the city says, we'll put in the basic platform, we will, from our existing, if we're already running half a dozen intelligent applications, street lights, that would be very easy to put into the GIS map. Parking, because maybe we're going to have an intelligent parking system. CCTV camera can provide a flow of information into the map. So those things we can start with, and then we can add a few other features. So, and then in an incremental way, we can build on it and put more and more in due course. But just to start it with the platform and a base level of information, what we need to know really is, it would be roughly what would be the back of the envelope type of cost for putting in a GIS platform, and some basic data that would be readily available, quite easy to put in. And then maybe what would be the 3, 4, 5 most important things that you would say need to be mapped if we have to prioritize. We can map 100 things, but of the, what would be the 3, 4, 5 most important things we could include in this package? Because cost is going to be a constraint, then we can build on it. So are you able to give any guidance? So the two questions are, one would be, what would be the cost for putting in the platform and assimilating some of the information that's already going to be available off our smart network? So that's one cost. And the other would be, could you suggest 3, 4, 5 key things that need to be mapped if you were going to ensure that the city began to be smart? Taking into account a city like Bhopal has already got many layers of maps. It's got 20 or 25 layers. It's already a lot of things are mapped. You could pull that in. But there are other things that are not mapped. Street furniture may not be mapped. I mean, various things may not be mapped. So just some guidance from you on that.
Sure, we can definitely, first what this is that once you have the GIS platform in place, we have already some of the GIS data which is already live with you. Now that data, if I talk about my GIS platform, whether it's a data coming from a XLS, I can even pull a data coming from a XLS and put it to a GIS and showcase it, right? I just need an address attached to it. So it's that simple, right? That I can just pull a XLS data apart from the regular formats of data which is easily available for me. And then we have got lots of custom plugins which are available, which can pull any type of GIS data which can be pulled in form of GIS and add it on top of that. Now that thing comes at a very basic cost for that. Now, so the whatever existing data is there, it can directly be pulled onto your